and stuff, you gotta head bob. The one thing Mark Rebier will teach you. And I know what a lot of personalities would probably come out and say about somebody like me trying to grasp at both ends of the spectrum and think that, oh, yeah, he's gonna, like Tim Pool or some shit, like I'm supposed to be some Tim Pool. And it's not gonna be like that at all. I would certainly hope, because I do have a lot of, different takes when it comes to what's going on down at the border. Like, I don't want a wall to be there. Okay, personally, I'm a progressive. I don't want a wall to be there. Okay, do you want a wall to be there?
No.
Yeah, the wall doesn't really solve any problem. No.
Like, you can't come in.
Well, the idea is it doesn't solve the problem.
We don't embrace
It does not.
immigrants.
It doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah,
It doesn't solve the problem. How about that? All right? It's not
it
something that
doesn't.
really solves the problem that it's intended to solve, okay? And that's one of the main reasons I would disagree. There's some other aesthetic reasons. Hey, I got to live in California for a period of time and got to get to know some of the history of, how they migrated up north. And I got to go to some of these missions and stuff. I guess mostly the Catholic missions and stuff that have most of the historic stuff that I got to see along the Bay Area. I wasn't that close to the border, but I definitely made friends with people that were from Mexico. And then I've always made friends with people from Mexico. You go up to the Pacific Northwest, up and down the I-5 corridor, that's like the hot springs, man. It's like you get further and further north. At least I was up in Seattle, Puget Sound area in at least, mid-90s to late 90s. It was not that, exactly. That's who I was working with. I worked in kitchens and stuff. So all my friends were kind of Mexicans. Yeah. Anyway, it was just like a proxy thing. But anyway, I got to hear, just how those people were, raised and where they're from. And I got a lot of respect for those cultures. I got a humongous amount of respect for the migratory farmer culture, especially like the Hispanic, like the Mexican cultures of these people that were doing this long before colonialists came along, long before America was even thought of. These families were already in this process of migrating from Mexico up to this area, because this valley here is like, this wasn't created just when the United States showed up. This valley was here the whole time, and it's been the most fruitful valley of potential agriculture in the world for a long, long time. There's just like no other place like it when it comes to this much land in a fruitful place. Where it's just all accessible, all usable. This valley in California is. It's what supports California. These people from Mexico, they were doing that thousands of years before anybody showed up. You know what I mean? They were always just migrating north to south, depending on what's available. These are migratory workers working farms, okay? See what I'm saying? They go up north to work farms to bring back money for their families in Mexico, dude. There's people that are from up here in the San Joaquin Valley that hook up and migrate with their friends heading south to go work the farms down south. And then they bring the money from here back up to their families up north.
What's wrong with that?
It was going both ways for generations and generations and generations and generations. Until colonialists came up and created this border. Colonialists came along and said, hey, we have to create this border here and tell these families that have been doing this structured trade for thousands and thousands of years. So, all right, you guys stop. And we're going to let you still do it based on what our need is. And I guess even then, they still don't really, take care of the need. And that's the one thing a lot of those people from those cultures can have a lot of pride in, is if it wasn't for these people in these cultures, we wouldn't have the food. So thank you. Thank you for all the food.
Thank you for all the food.
And there's absolutely no way am I trying to keep people from getting from Mexico to the United States. This finishing the border wall. Are you reading the description?
Yes.
Read it. People who have been on that migratory pattern for farm work and stuff like that. Well, we're talking about the people who feel the need to leave because of their economic situation or because there's not enough water or there's not enough farming work. There's not, you know what I mean? If you had more water, there'd be more farming. Do you understand that? more agricultural grade water means more agricultural grade projects, right? We're talking about taking desalinated water from right here. I even picked a little a test spot. Look along the border here. We got San Jose. Maybe not like you do have to start out here though. You do have to really get in here and put the pipelines to take the water out of the Pacific Ocean and just start taking the ocean water out and pumping it. And you can start your right here and start. You strap those pipes to the infrastructure. And I guess we're not calling it a wall anymore because the purpose isn't really to be a wall anymore. We're just saying by proxy, by putting all this infrastructure like the solar panels or pipes and all this stuff that's going to bring actual resource infrastructure out to places that don't have resource infrastructure. And that's really just to create probably more agricultural opportunities to create more sustainable living for the populations living out there out of humane purposes, for humanitarian efforts, right? And that's really what it is. It's a humanitarian effort to people out in the desert. Providing water to people out in the desert is a humanitarian effort. And if we can make this somewhat cost neutral, at least cover some of the cost, kill two birds with one stone, right? Is how you put it, is that we're going to be able to, by proxy, like I said, if we strap all this infrastructure onto all the projects, like you got pipes, you got solar panels, you got all this stuff, and we got somewhere along the border here, we have to put a big giant desalination plant. Yeah, it's got to be here somewhere. And we got to start now desalination is going to take some energy. Now the energy could be produced.
What is that? Could you explain that for me?
Well, the process of evaporating the water and taking the salt out, that takes energy, okay? Now they have a lot of solar energy available. They just have to convert it. And that's what a lot of it would have to be. So a lot of the solar energy that we're producing off of the wall has to be really allocated to desalinating the water. And then it's piped right back to produce the energy needed to desalinate the water. You know what I mean? As much as possible. And anything left over, I guess, gets distributed along the way. How about that?
Okay, so you take the water
and you do it on both ends. Here's Tijuana, here's San Diego, and you do it on both ends. You do it on both ends. You get over here to Texas. Here's the border of Texas down here in Texas and Mexico, and you do the same thing down here.
Aren't they doing it?
And you have a pipeline down here. And I guess there's certain environmental reasons why maybe, this is why it doesn't even have to be a wall so much. So I'm saying? You don't have to really worry about, bolstering whatever they have here, but at the same time, you have to look at it. It's the river. The Rio Grande is the fucking wall. You see what I'm saying? So the idea is you really want to respect the natural environment as much as possible. The West Coast makes it look so much easier than this. You know what I mean? So you would have to find some sort of, this is where Mexico gets involved. It's like we might have to say, we're going to have to build this damn pipeline, like right through parts of Mexico here. You know what I mean? Or at least maybe along the river somehow. How do you do it without damaging the infrastructure or the environment? You know what I mean? That's probably the one thing that I'd be concerned about, even if it's just a water pipeline. And it would have to be very strictly. This is just going to be, categorical infrastructure like water, electric. No oil. No oil will be transported. And that would have to be, that's definitely a zero. And I guess we'd have to maybe... But the East Coast part of it seems a lot more confusing to me because I'm not from that area. But we're talking about making the project cost neutral, possibly cost neutral, revenue neutral, where you have actually gotten Mexico to pay for it in a certain, because obviously they're going to have to give way.
Benefit them.
It's going to benefit them too along the borders. I think everybody agree that everybody needs some water, and we need to figure out about water real quick. And if we could actually restore some of the resources out here, there's places that are out in the desert that don't need water. You see what I'm saying? You look at all these places and you would think every place in the desert needs water the way we're talking about it, and that's just not true. There's certain places where they got aquifers and stuff, natural stuff, and you would do that scientific structure to know where to put the water and where not to take it. Yeah, man. That somebody if they you got communities that are sitting on giant aquifers like Tucson or something. Yeah, Tucson's like on a giant aquifer. I think you go out to when you get out north
California
like El
has
Paso.
plant that filters
Yeah,
seawater,
when you get out here like El Paso area.
something like that.
In Juarez area. There's
Remember
there's
with
this giant
Washington.
aquifer that's out here too. So you would just bypass some of those. You're not trying to access those aquifers or really bolster those aquifers. You would just bypass those areas and take the water to the places that need it and focus on the places that need that water. And if you create this water source and an energy source too, because the extra energy that you get from like the solar panels, there's a place where wind is feasible. I'm pie in the sky right now. It would take a long time. It would take a long time to develop this kind of infrastructure. But you're talking about roughly the same amount of money, man, that they were already talking about with just, constructing and maintaining a beautiful border wall. Your beautiful border wall could just have pipelines on it. You just got to understand, it's just like I put in the description there. The more stuff you could think of to put on the pipeline thing, the more stuff you could think of, the more bolstered it becomes to foot traffic going through. You know what I mean? It'd be less likely foot traffic's going to make it through this big network of fucking pipelines and all this other shit that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
But why do you think that they want? I mean, I know that there's jobs in the U.S. that like you were talking about, farmers and people that come to the other side to work and then they go back to Mexico.
Well, we already have resources for that to let them in.
I mean that
I'm not
shouldn't
saying you don't have
be.
openings in the
We
fucking. You know what I mean?
we shouldn't like distract people.
Well, here's
from
the
not doing
reality.
that.
Here's the
That's
reality,
jobs.
and I think a lot of the conservatives already kind of grasp this reality is that you can't have one continuous fucking wall the whole way. I think you guys have already gotten across that bridge of reality, right? That you can't feasibly have a one contiguous wall the whole way. You can't have it. It doesn't happen. But there's parts where you can, and there's parts they're already doing it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a progressive looking at this, getting all mad and triggered, you got to understand they're already doing it. Biden did not stop maintaining and building that wall. Okay, it's still going on, and like it or not, there's going to be people, even myself, that at some point you could say, okay, well, I don't know. I'm not sure how stuck I am on the border issue. I don't really care how many people come across for work and do things like that. And I just know that if things were just better, there was just a better lifestyle going on out here, a lot of them probably wouldn't want to migrate to begin with. You know what I mean? But the ones that do it for farming and stuff, I mean, there's no reason to take that away from them. Yeah. This ecological infrastructure was here long before you know what I mean? It's the funny thing that I'm saying. The ecological infrastructure of this giant valley that was put here by nature, you know what I mean? That was here long before people showed up. And then the people discovered that they could use it for all this agriculture, and that's how these nomadic tribes type people that come from north to south would do, They'd have families down here, work up here, go back. People would have families up here, come down seasonally, work down here, bring back their goods up here, and then just this symbiotic way of just maintaining societies, man. Yeah, it was already there. And this is the one thing that the Catholics and the missionaries, they really already they capitalized on these supply lines that were already there by the migrants that already were already there. They're already going back and forth between these areas. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you really look at history, you're going to find that it was really these Catholics that showed up as colonialists, really just kind of followed, They followed the migrants pattern, you know what I mean? Because this is where these people were already going to go to work, Yeah. Now, Imperial Valley Salton Sea is a little bit of a bad example. Or it could have been better or worse. Who knows? A lot of human interaction has changed the waterways, and that's why we have certain liberal laws when it comes to water rights and things like that. There's so many people in history who've just gone through and tried to change the environmental patterns of rivers and things like that, and then to the detriment of just all ecological life in between, you know. And yeah, there's a couple people, only one like, and then oh,
But you're still getting people on your.
oh, come on. What are we talking about? What are you talking about? You should probably update me on what you're talking about, Robin. What are you doing? Chat with us. Whoa, you like that?
Posting on groups that I have, YouTube groups, and
Well,
that's
what you gotta do.
Find people that way. I've
Sure.
found a couple of Fortnite people that way. So
Fortnite.
you never know.
Wow. Oh my God, Fortnite, really?
Yeah, and then I belong to all the progressive dudes.
I think you probably personally know a bunch of people who can lean conservative that would watch this shit and go, "Wow, okay, this guy really thinks this way." Okay, you know,
I have
it's just
a
like,
lot of
yeah,
conservative family.
no, because I think really what it is that most. I'm talking to the people who realize that, yeah, there's a media out there and there's people in there that make money off of playing us against each other. And that's what they're just going to keep doing if we don't just yeah, settle the gripe ourselves, yeah. And obviously there's sure, there's 35% of the population over there that's just never going to budge. That's only 35% of the population. There's a huge percentage of segue there where you can get a lot of middle of the road conservatives over into progressive ideals by just compromising with some of their conservative ideals. You're talking about just like balanced budgeting initiatives, you know, paying for what we're doing in the society in order to bolster the quality of what we're doing. Okay.
What do you mean the quality of what?
I'm sorry, from a progressive side, it's like, yeah, when it comes like the education thing, I'm talking about changing education, the dynamics of public education and it would significantly lower the cost. When you're talking about transportation costs, food costs, all the little things that it costs for these schools to operate, you're able to bring those costs down significantly, but then at the same time turn it around where this is actually a service now that you're obviously offering to the general public who can now play this game and be Billy Madison, and people just infinitely play that game. I just know it. It would be hooked. People would get hooked on that shit. I know it. They would have our own little army of school venture people who are, making their way through cool. Aren't people become because of this? Who's going to be the youngest college graduate? You know what I mean? That would be just like the constant thing, dude. Who's going to be the youngest, Ivy League? Who's going to be the youngest doctor? Who's going to be the first Doogie Howser? You know what I mean? Who's going to be the first Doogie Howser? That's what shit like this would lead to. School venture would lead to the creation of Doogie Howsers. You know what I mean? Yeah. Little fucking 10-year-olds that can be doctors. Because they just played through that shit already. You know what I mean? They already played through it. They've already performed fucking heart surgery in a video game. You hear what I'm saying?
Not be exposed to other things that happen at schools. That's why conservatives would love that.
Welcome, Dr. Doogie.
Okay.
What's that? You watched Doogie Howser, right?
Yeah, that was.
I'm just playing into like pop culture a little bit,
Patrick Neil Harris.
Well,
he played Doogie Howser.
I guess I kind of went over the topic a little bit. We don't have to isolate it too much.
Well, we should
Well,
stay on topic.
I'm gonna make it an hour-long video, I guess, is the idea. We're on 45 minutes, so you got 15 minutes to find some people to come tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I'm trying.
You're looking for people. That's why I said share it with conservatives. Share it with anybody.
Well,
you got to find lower-end people.
What Mike is on the spectrum of where's politics. He's into the
Dude, share with your old man. I don't care. Share with every person.
Share
Share with everybody on your page right now. Say,
I did.
Well, you should probably.
Because I got lots of
state of
conservatives on.
I kind of like the picture I put up there, but I wish it was better resolution. It's not like super clear. My little state house for the state of Will. How do you like my little state house for the
Oh yes, I really love
tyrannical
that
world
picture.
of state of Will? The tyrannical world where a total nobody tells everybody what to do, and it works. Look, I wring my hands and shit. Like a yeah, no, whatever. I got warm hands. You can ask her. Warm,
Yeah,
warm hands, warm heart. Correct? Come on. Right?
I don't know. Yes.
Thank you, Robin. I'm Batman. She's Robin. I'm Howard. She's Robin.
Why do I always get the Robin?
Because that's their names. That's their names.
Ooh, two players.
Actually, I came up with a thing. Okay, when I say my jokes are so bad, you have to say, "How bad are they, Will?" Can you say
How
that?
bad are they, Will?
Well, you gotta kind of say it correctly. You gotta be, "How bad are they, Will?"
How bad are they, Will?
Okay, you gotta emphasize that R. Okay, how bad are they, Will?
How bad are they, Will?
There you go. Okay, say it again. How bad are they, Will? There you go. My jokes are so bad.
How bad are they, Will?
Come on. Okay. I was so bad I'm shooting blanks right now. I was attacked by a cackle of hyenas, chewed off my nuts. And I did testify. They were not laughing. There you go. That's it. I had it down earlier. Cackle of hyenas chewed off my nuts. And I did testify. They were not laughing. They weren't. They weren't laughing. I tried. That's how bad my jokes are.
They're not bad.
That a cackle of hyenas wouldn't even laugh at my jokes. They chewed off my nuts and I'm shooting blanks now. Thanks. There you go. I was neutered by a cackle of hyenas.
How bad are they, Will?
So I got to come up with another one. I will be the first comedian president. How about that? Woo! Dude. Come on, bro. Can you imagine just busting out at the White House? Dude, I took the fence down. President Will comes and takes the fence down. I went over that earlier in an earlier video. President Will comes and takes the fence down outside the White House. President Will comes out and does like open mic comedy for strangers and just loves people out in the yard. We go past joints and shit. Have a drum circle. You know what I mean? I don't know. See, I want to end the war on drugs too, and I think there's freaks out there. I don't know. There might be some freaks smacking out, dude. I don't know. I don't know, dude. We're gonna figure out mature, responsible people out there. That's where we're at. I guess I got to be a little bit stern because I believe that was my armchair when it came to cannabis legalization, and how I backed it up is because I was always one of those people who said, okay, well, if it was legal, we would have just adults that are cool enough to just go home and do their own thing. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be this counterculture thing where you see hippies and everything gathering and just smoking out all over the place.
What was that, Hempfest?
Well, it's just other gatherings. It was civil disobedience. You know what I mean? So there was plenty of that.
It was in Seattle.
I remember before legalization, there was plenty of civil disobedience in every population. Well, every big city I went to, I found the population of people who are just kind of all have this big gang theory that as long as there's just a big pack of people all doing it, then it's legal.
Remember the Hempfest?
Then it's legal. I mean, yeah.
We went to, and they had all those people saying that we're going to hell
Well,
for smoking.
So I would imagine that, yeah. We're not talking about the White House lawn being like a big giant flop house for freaks.
Why
No,
not?
come on.
Why?
No, we're not right.
Why?
No,
Everybody
no.
smoking it on the lawn.
We'll have flop out patrol. No, flop it out. Do that shit at home. Get out of here.
Serious. People dancing naked. Come on.
Oh no, that's different. I'm talking about flopping out, dude.
What the hell is popping out?
Flopping out. That means like you're doing smack or something.
No,
So they're
no,
just
no
like,
smack.
you're just gonna be like, yo, yeah,
No smack. Just
yeah, no smack, crack, no coke,
no.
yeah, nothing like that. But we don't want to demonize those people. You know what I mean? We got to
No,
stop
we don't
doing
wanna
that.
demonize them, of
I think that's
course.
something maybe even like the progressives and the conservatives can agree that demonizing this phenomena is where a lot of people went wrong. Yeah.
There
That
you
the
go.
idea that you should put some fucking dangerous substance into your body, that is kind of like maybe, yeah.
I put
It's an
dangerous
absence of thought.
substance in my
And whether
body.
whether it's a sickness or illness or that, you go over that some other day, but it's an absence of thought. And most people can understand that under the right conditions, a normal human being probably would not put those chemicals into their body, okay? Under the correct conditions, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who have lived all different kinds of lives, you know what I mean? And for whatever reason, yeah, it's an absence of thought. It has nothing to do with anybody's correct or incorrect decision. It's just the opportunities you have in front of you at the time. You learn this. Oh, whoa. Super funny guy. Oh, great. Listen,
I just
this is
to
the
get
state
people
of
to
will,
talk.
man.
Just getting
I'm
people to
supposed not.
talk,
I'm
you
not
know?
trying. I'm
It's like when
trying to be super serial, and you're saying super funny guy. Come on,
yeah, super funny guy. You are funny.
you're back
You
on
you
there.
just you just
I just told a bad joke. My jokes are so bad.
how bad are they, Will?
I'm not ready for another one though. But good job. I gotta test you. I did the
I'll
first
remember
one.
the R.
Well, you gotta.
The R
Well, you
there.
just gotta remember that when I give you direction from now on. Sometimes I want you to emphasize the words, and you gotta learn how to, read all words and try to find which ones to emphasize. Sometimes, practice that.
Emphasize the blue.
You should practice that every time you're reading a sentence. Practice reading each sentence as though you got to emphasize like a certain word over others. You know. You can be like, you know, thanks. Thanks. What? Thanks for everything. You'd be like, thanks for everything.
Thanks for everything.
Or you can be like, thanks for everything. I don't know why you would say that though.
Emphasize thanks, right?
Or you can be like,
That's what you're doing.
thanks for everything. Yeah, I mean, you should practice trying to emphasize different words and different. Yeah, the one where we emphasized for made no sense, did not sound right. But
Thanks for everything.
Anyway, you look at what you chat. You got your chats. You got chat with us. Yeah, right? It's like
That's what I put in my post. I said,
chat with us. Right? See? Chat with us. Right? Super funny guy. I don't know, I guess, yeah. Super funny guy. Super. I can't do that one. You have to do it.
Well,
Practice with that one.
I was just trying, if people.
Well, it feels like I'm saying something in the third
chat,
person.
People chat, it's a safe place.
Are you still sitting there watching this? See, you come up as a viewer. You got to come up with actual legitimate viewers. Who did you share it with? Did you share it in like text, like a chat that you have with everybody?
Yeah, I posted.
Oh, you put in like in that one you have with your dad and Betsy and stuff. You just slap it in there. It's like, stay the will, man. You're all living under the tyrannical world of will now, and you have to listen to what I say because I'm a total nobody, telling everybody what to do, and it works. I don't know. Who else? You got. I'm serious. You got to be super creative about this, man. I can't. I can't do this campaign alone. See, I don't even believe in campaigning. So I'm more into the ad hoc factor of government and the fashion of government, where people together decide what to do instead of one person saying, "Hey, me," and follow me, and then I'll decide. That right there is the weirdest thing. I think. Yeah, it's creepy to me. It's creepy to me that we do things that way. Yeah, we're gonna vote for the most narcissistic motherfucker in the room. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna vote for the most narcissistic person who just, thinks their own shit don't stink. Why would we do that? You know what I mean?
But what
Some
if
guy
their
who,
shit
some
does
guy
stink?
or gal or anything else, I don't. Maybe whatever. Doesn't matter who it is running.
Probably
You know.
nobody's shit stinks.
These people want, but that's the thing is they'll never. At least the worst of the worst politicians. They're the types of people that will just never admit doing wrong. They try to like sit there and act like their shit don't stink. I think a lot of people understand that aesthetic.
Yeah, well, I'm sure people are
So you're
getting.
still coming up as the viewer. I see a concurrent viewer, but it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Who
I haven't touched.
you got to find people to set the wave. Who you gonna set the wave with? Who was it? You got to tell me as you do it, Robin. What's her name?
Whose name?
Yeah, the Howard Stern chick. What's her name?
Robin
What's her last name?
Givens.
It's not Robin Givens. You're funny, dude.
Um.
That's Mike Tyson's old wife, dude.
Here.
Hey, it seemed like I had another. Oh, that was my glasses. Made it look like there was a two. Like somebody hit another. It's like almost got another like. But it was my eyes messing with me. I don't know. I guess that's the thing. I'm too introverted to just go out there and spam my stuff, and I get in trouble for self promotion. You saw what happened with Hassan, right? Right?
Right.
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 Well, come on, man. I can't be out here on this island all by myself,
You sound ridiculous. Right.
Well, I mean, a comedian could be president, don't you think? We could have a comedian president.
Okay, who would you pick?
Me. We're literally going up the state of will, just a fictional world where a total nobody tells everybody what to do, and it works. And it works. Work, 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 work,
It's Q U
work,
I
work,
P
work,
E R
work,
S.
work, 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 work. Oh shit. This is a long loop. See, I gotta wait for it to go over. Then it starts overdubbing. Work, 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 work. Oh shit. Alright. Oh, that didn't work. I gotta turn that shit off.
Got 9 people.
Well, it said 9 views. That's probably just you going back and forth
No,
each time.
I keep it on. I keep it on.
Well, okay. Well,
The only
who did
time
you
I
share it
turn-
with, man? You should share it to your old man. This is my husband right here. He's gonna be president of his own little psychotic world inside his head. Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on. Help a freak out. Help a freak out. Come on. Do you not see my Capitol building all freaked out and decked out and like black light neon? That's what we're gonna do with the White House. We're gonna take the fence down. That's my first. We're upgrading now. The whole black light neon stuff, that was an upgrade from earlier. Earlier was just take the fence down. That's my goal as president, is to remove. Yeah, if I became president, that's what I would do, because I wouldn't be scared of my people. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't do anything that makes me scared of my people. I would be I would have that kind of natural fear. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what
I would just have that natural fear to not do anything that's fucked up. You know what I mean? You don't need to have a fence around the White House. What you need to do is just don't do anything that's fucked up. Right? Where people get pissed. Don't do that. We got the best of the best of the best with the Secret Service. This is how much respect and love and admiration I would have for those men and women, and and the people keeping us safe, and the people keeping the White House safe. That I would have full and complete faith that they could handle a security situation where we remove the fence and we just go ahead and allow people up on the fucking lawn, man. Why not? They're paying for it, right? You're paying for it. Why?
But at certain levels,
Right?
you have to protect what's the most precious to us in America is the president and the
What?
vice president and his family.
Protect them from what?
From any invaders and
Who?
people who want to, do something to them. That's why they.
But I'm saying I would just be so cool with everybody that doesn't happen. I'm taking the fence down so they can run up and give me a hug.
They'll give
What?
you a shot in the head.
Shut up. That would not happen.
Not trust anybody in America.
You are wow. You can when you do the right stuff. No, you can when you do the right stuff. I'm sorry.
I will share this to my dad, but
I'll be out here shooting hoops
might be really,
with the
really,
fellas.
really honest.
Or anybody who shows up to shoot hoops. I bet Obama did it. He probably had some randos out there shooting hoops with him. He seems that cool. But it's like they have to go like whisper in the rando's ear and say, "You're coming with us. Yes or no? You want in?" You know what I mean? And it's like they just usher you into the basketball court real quick and you got to play basketball with Obama. I bet that happened a lot. He just comes out. He comes out to the basketball court and he's just doing his stretches and like, "It's all right. Go find me some suckers." You know what I mean? Just walk out the gate and you just find like whoever looks like they can play some basketball. Just be like, "Hey, you." Right? Right? Is that not how it would work? Do you think Obama did that?
What?
Sent his staff outside the gate just to get some rando that looked like he could play ball. There's a basketball court right there. Do you see it?
Yes, I know that.
So would he not just like he's out there doing his stretches in the morning? He wants to play some basketball and he just leans over. He's like, "All right, guys, go find me a sucker. Go find me a sucker." So he wants to do some one-on-one with the president, right? And they just go find some sucker on the street that looks like they could play some ball. And they walk up to him just like, "Hey, you. You want a story to tell your grandkids?
What kind of president do you want?
Do you want a story to tell your grandkids?"
Or somebody that
You're not listening to the damn story. This is a heartfelt. This is a Disney movie right now. I'm doing Disney movie. Please. Obama sends the Secret Service out to go find some rando that looks like he played basketball, and they approach the rando and be like, "Hey, you want a story you can tell your grandkids? Come with us. We're gonna check you. We gotta probe your butt." You know, whatever.
This with my dad. You stop that.
But no, the idea is that you just shared it with your dad. You didn't tell me that.
I just shared it with my dad.
But you got to imagine.
Yep.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would have to find somebody that I could work though. You know what I mean? I'm like 5'8", 5'9" at best with some good shoes. So if I was in the White House, I would totally do that. I would imagine that's what Obama did. I would totally. I'd be out there doing my stretches or whatever, and I'd just like, "Hey, you go find somebody." But it would be really easy to find people once you take the fence down, because if you just allow people to play basketball there all the time, allow people to walk across. That's what I'm saying. If you
Okay,
missed the
so-
light,
So you want to be like inviting. I mean, it never happened with Biden, but maybe the next president might.
Me.
Yeah. If you
2025.
If you want to get into that
I am the only candidate that will ever take that fucking fence down, okay? I am the only one that will tell you straight up.
Sides of the spectrum.
Okay? I am the only candidate who will ever tell you straight up that when I become president, I'm gonna show so much balls, you know, that I would just take the fence down. We don't need a security fence around the White House anymore. That would be my policy. That'd be one of my first.
What are they afraid of?
That'd be one of my first landscaping policies. And then you go to my little picture that I get here, the State House. That'd be like the next thing. We start doing some cool upgrades to make it, aesthetically and looking. Get some art in there. Get some of the best art from around the country to represent the art in that area. You see what I'm saying? Out in the front of the White House. And you welcome it. You welcome people to just come in. We have some jugglers, the best buskers that this country has to offer right outside the White House. Come on, man. It's just a big fucking circus show. Non-stop circus outside the White House. I don't care. We'll have rides.
But both sides can participate.
Well, no. Fun fact. I've been here. I've been to this spot. I'm gonna go try to be right to this spot that I was at. It was like right here. There's some bench. I think it's here. It's the other bench. Oh, you can't see it, but got me to a different photo. But look at that. They must be working on the park. Where I was at was just like right at these benches inside this park right there. I sat right there, and we're just chilling across from the White House from this side. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It looked different. I feel like it looked different at the time, but.
Have you ever been to the White House?
I
know you went to DC.
Right here. I'm literally telling you. I sat right out here. This is kind of almost the perspective I had. I could see, we sat here probably like an hour or so. We walked all the way around the other side and came around this way.
Lincoln Monument.
So yeah. So in the first year of the administration, the very first day, my first executive decision about the landscaping will be we're going to take that fence down. Take that fence down. We're going to open it up. I'm not scared of my people. I'm not scared of my people.
So you won't have any Secret Services?
Did you not hear what I said? I have so much love, respect, and admiration for the men and women and the people in our armed forces and the people that are running security in that place that they could handle security, okay? They could handle it, okay?
But why do they have a fence?
Getting into the... Dude, you can party all you want out in the yard, okay? You could party and just do this and that. You come running for the door, you might just be you're still going to get fucked up. Okay? Do you hear me? You get that part, right?
Every president has that problem.
I mean, you still get that, right? Is that we're going to open up the yard, everybody gets to chill, and we make it all secure. Yeah, I don't think there would be a problem. As long as my other agendas go through, like the school venture idea here. Then we talk about finishing the border wall. We're talking about finishing the border wall, which is kind of weird coming from a progressive. But I'm trying to take this angle where we have progressives and conservatives coming together to make ideas happen that satisfy both needs from both sides, at least the agenda from both sides. And a lot of it has to, hey, we don't have to sit here and split hairs about border security, okay, when it comes to the wall, okay? We don't have to split hairs about that. What we could split hairs about is the need for ecological infrastructure anyway. I think we can agree that even a person of a conservative mindset could start understanding the need for fresh water and how having access to the fresh water and creating a supply of it, auxiliary supply of fresh water, and then bolster the areas that need it, and especially agriculture, along the border, along with other kinds of ecological infrastructure. You're talking about maybe solar energy. You're talking about wind energy. Maybe there's a bunch of other stuff I haven't even thought of. And that's why I put that line in there. What else could we put up on this thing? Because the more, and this is the thing for conservatives, you got to understand. The more ecological infrastructure, the more stuff that we could put on the line there, the more it bolsters the, you know, the security, I guess. It bolsters the border for the foot traffic. They getting through this complex network of tubes and all the, you know what I mean, all the infrastructure we're gonna have to put in there, and then you got the solar panels, and you're gonna literally need like something to tie it to. Do you see what I'm saying?
What was
You need
what
something
was
to tie it
the
to.
what
Do you,
was
but do you see the necessity of having something there to tie all this stuff to? That if you're going to have big pipelines and solar panels and all this other stuff, do you see the necessity of needing something to tie it to?
I
You got to
no,
put, yeah.
I don't. I mean,
Well, any
I'm
pipeline
not
you look
really
at,
familiar
pipelines,
in
pipelines.
pipelines and stuff
So
like
the one,
that.
see, the most important part of the pipeline is the cradle that holds it, and all those.
Can you put it up on screen?
Alyeska pipeline. We'll just give you Alyeska, I guess.
Uh,
Sure.
see what we're looking at.
Nice.
Cause do other countries have that? I mean, do they have a pipeline that has piping clean water?
Okay, so let's see an image of Alyeska pipeline. Now it's still a rudimentary example. Do you see the pipe? And do
Oh
you see
yeah,
how there's
okay,
this
I
stuff
see.
here that holds it up?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Where's the solar at?
There's no solar.
Oh no.
This is Alyeska pipeline. This is for oil.
Okay. That's
No oil will be carried through this project. Okay, this
No,
is not
we're
this
not
this is
including-
ecological infrastructure that's there to benefit. And I guess that's the problem with conservatives, I guess maybe. I don't know if you're watching, don't think that's an offense, but yeah, we don't want to use it to move carbon or yeah, the
anything
fossil
bad for the
fuels, I guess. You know what I mean?
environment.
We're talking about using water and just by proxy because there's a lot of sun out there, and there's like I said, there's parts of this border where you're not going to be able to connect. You can't have one contiguous border wall. You know what I mean? It's physically impossible. I think there's a lot of conservatives who've gotten across that concept that it's really there's places where there's not going to be a physical connection. You see what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean we can't work to find out maybe there's wind or solar energy open to that, and we got ways of still continuing the network until there's another part where you can continue the needing that infrastructure. Do you see what I'm saying? It's already there. It's already being built, and you're dealing with an administration right now that doesn't want to deal with it themselves, but they're still funding it. They're still building it. It's still going through. I mean, as much as you guys want to say you hate Joe Biden, man, he's still funding the border construction. It's still happening. Just not at the tick that maybe you guys would want, maybe, right? But we're talking about creating infrastructure that's going to create water resources out here in places that need it. See, I know there's a couple places that don't need it. They have aquifers. You'd be smart about it, I guess, But and under this guise, I think we can get Mexico to contribute a significant portion of the funds and the maintenance, I guess the manpower for the maintenance and the upkeep and all this stuff. I think that could be managed between both nations because both nations could benefit. They need some water out here. It's more likely that there might be more need for water down here in Mexico and some of these places because I know like the El Paso, Las Cruces, there's certain areas, Tucson, that some of these more populated areas, you see they're populated because they have a huge water supply to work with. And I guess the smaller the population, the less the water probably. And you would just try to cover agricultural need first. Right? Who is that? You're there? Oh. I saw you. You bailed. It was there for 5 minutes. But yeah, people see ideas like this and they run away, I guess. I don't know. It's a tough one. You're hearing a progressive talking about finishing the border wall, and it's, that's like, what? Because normally you wouldn't hear this from anybody on the left, right? But we're talking about policies that can actually benefit everybody and then maybe even be more cost effective than what we're doing. Because when we talk about the water that we're desalinating, we're talking about energy that we're creating. We want to probably have the least economic impact as possible. I said environmental impact. I'm sorry. And that's why it's not going to be an oil pipeline. And really, hopefully, our human species can realize the lack of necessity we have for oil pipelines, other than just, moreover, we need natural resource pipelines like what I'm talking about, where we're piping fresh water to places that need it, or at least agricultural grade water to where you can free up the fresh water supply that's already there. If we could just augment the supply of agricultural grade water, you would just free up by nature, you would free up the water supplies in a lot of different areas. Just down here in the south that need it the most. You know? And if we could create a program to start, I don't know how bad Lake Mead is. It rained a lot recently. I'm interested to find out what impact the recent rainstorms that like kind of came through here. Let's see if it actually made an impact on refurbishing the water supply out here at Lake Mead. Well, I can imagine people see what I'm saying, but what the hell? Knee-jerk reaction. I imagine a lot of knee-jerk reaction from some people just reading it. But the idea is to start a conversation. Any of these questions could be, just a little olive branch to a conversation about, what to do. I got more ideas. And I guess, I probably beat this like a dead horse. See, we're done. I'm at an hour 17. I had somebody for a little while, right at the 1 hour mark, and I kept going for them. Hopefully they got the information they needed. They didn't hit the like button. But, yeah, we'll call it good. That's it for the whole discussion about finishing the border wall. Anybody who catches on to it later through links, I guess they get to watch it from the beginning. And yeah, obviously. And if you made it this far, oh my gosh, I don't imagine anybody made it this far. Yeah. If you did, you should obviously like the video and share it to people, or try to, I don't know, if you know how to do clips. Or you just ask questions and tell me what to isolate, and I'll make better video about it later. How about that? That'll be about it, I think. Call it good. Alright, somebody showed up. Alright. Alright, who is it? I was about to bail. I was about to. We're talking. I'll bring up the page here. Hold on. I'll bring up the... makes it a little bit easy to read. You can read the description about the state of will and what that's all about. It's just a fictional world where a total nobody tells everybody what to do, and it works. And I guess a lot of ways it's just comedy. A little bit of comedy. Blended in with real world solutions, if you could believe that. And you got real questions here. Stuff like, is it really possible for a conservative to join a progressive movement, or vice versa, right? Can a progressive support policy and systems that create popular solutions for conservative voters as well as progressive voters? Can policy engage both spectra? And I think that's really where I am coming from. I got the school venture from a previous video that you could check out. It's labeled as such. Today we're talking about this finish the border wall. It's a very, very sticky topic when you want to talk about, left or right. It's a very hot button issue about, whether it's immigration or this and that. Where I think I kind of flip it on its head here, where we talk about the border wall from the perspective of creating ecological infrastructure and change the spectrum of the purpose of the wall into just being an ecological infrastructure project that's going to carry like pipelines of fresh water and I guess other resources out to places out, in the desert that need it. I'm isolating places. At the beginning, being like you'd be out here out the west coast, and we pull water out of the ocean. You desalinate it, and then you pipeline it out to the places that need it. Like I said, specify places that need it. Then that entire system could also have like solar panels, other resource transportation other than fossil fuels and oil. I don't think no oil, I guess, would be the idea. That's why we're trying to keep it clean. This is why you probably wouldn't be able to, if you try to include any kind of fossil fuels, Mexico's not going to take the bait, man. They won't pay for that, I don't think. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. This is one of those conservative mantras about getting, Mexico to pay for the wall. Well, we kind of flip it over a little bit. We might be able to do that. We might be able to convince them that they want to invest in something like that so they can benefit from the same resources that are being taken out there. And then those populations that live out there would benefit in a way that might create a lifestyle where less people want to move away. You know? And a lot of it is probably just water supply, agricultural grade water supply. You know what I mean? Where if you just alleviate their need for the agricultural water, it'll free up water for their fresh water supply to drink and whatnot. But we could also kind of have, both grades of water. You'd have a pipeline for the ag, and you got the potable water. Maybe there's a bunch of different grades I don't even know about, different grades of water. And then, like I said, there might be other stuff you could put up on what else could we put up on this thing? And I guess, the first thing somebody's going to say is, oh, let's put some oil pipelines. And it's like, no.
And we need something.
This is ecological infrastructure. This is here that's actually going to benefit the environment and the people that are out there. And it would actually bolster, because when you have all this stuff like pipelines and the solar panels, intricate solar panels, power stations, all this stuff. When you have that stuff, you need stuff to hold it. That's why we brought the Alyeska pipeline, just not the greatest example because of all the big giant gaps and everything, but that's just one pipe, and that is for oil. But you're just kind of synonymous with a pipe. That's what a pipe looks like, and that's what the infrastructure looks like to hold the pipe. There's almost a better look right there. You see how it's got like a cradle, right? See how it's got like a cradle and it cradles the pipeline, But this is obviously on top of the infrastructure that's already there. You would just tie it to. Do you see what I'm saying? You would just kind of tie the pipeline right to the existing, what we're calling a wall right now. You change
so
the
would it go along the wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It goes right along the wall.
Okay.
Like I said, and what I'm saying is that by proxy, you're just creating this more of a physical barrier. You see what I'm saying? It still creates a physical barrier that they wanted. You know what I mean? Even though, certain people, on both sides might not agree with certain parameters of the benefits of this, but if both sides are getting what they want, you want to actually create a more secure border by creating a physical barrier. Well, let's turn the wall into like ecological infrastructure to get the, as you would call like the tree huggers and the, and the liberals and the left on board. We call it ecological infrastructure. We put pipelines for water. I guess that'd be the first one. Solar, electric. I mean, as soon as you throw in the oil and stuff, at any point, you lose the left. So, you couldn't do that. It has to be clean stuff. And I feel Mexico's the same way, man. Like, the government of Mexico isn't going to want to play ball with anything that has to do with transporting oil. Now, if you're just transporting water and resources, I think they would have that conversation all day. Got to click. Somebody maintain the view. Who are you doing? Yeah, we need to get like software. Or people that chat. If you got a keyboard, you should chat. If you just.
That's why I put in those things, chat with them.
Even hit the like button, man. Who couldn't like this idea? I guess. I could see maybe some some people on the left mostly. People on the left mostly would probably look at this and just like knee jerk reaction about the idea finish the wall.
But
And right,
they want the wall built. The conservatives want the
that'd
wall
be the
built,
right.
right? Conservative,
But that's the
in
idea.
between,
But there's still,
libertarian.
but there's no. You're talking about that population of conservative that's really just maybe trying to differentiate themselves at this point
Why not talk to
from
them
the
without the
circus.
media pointing pointing their camera at them and see if they say something smart? You know what I mean? Because they're out there to sell their side. So uh, why not
Uh,
talk to them individually without no
no, there's a way
camera
for.
and
No, it's just too
you
bad
know?
people can't realize that as much as you've been taught, there is a way for everybody to win. There is. There is a way for theoretically.
Everyone to win. We want
You know,
everyone to win in
that
this.
at least they have some policies go your way, some policies go our way, and then we move ahead as a country instead of in this perpetual ball of crap that's really just plagued upon us by the people who have the money to push. They buy the media and they push this agenda of wanting us to argue with each other and hate each other over these hot button issues, that if we actually just came together and settled some of the major hot button issues in a negotiation fashion, ad hoc style, then we would just become more bulletproof as a body politic, that these people couldn't run corruption on us if they just know that you're not going to be able to trick people into hating each other anymore. You know what I mean? That you can't do that. That you
Well,
just
just
people have to
the
realize the
way
same people
hate-
know. Come on, it's the same
the
people who
way
afford.
hate altogether.
No, anybody who knows how to basically invest in production value, like even us, we're sitting here in a streaming world, and some of the streaming we're doing is us just trying to practice pretending to be somebody else. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah,
practice
I
that
mean,
idea of
I've
losing your
got
ego
somebody
and become.
very straight.
Well, the idea is to lose your own ego and have this different, outlook and be able to play a role that
Yeah, be
some of these people
somebody
want to
else
see on these
for
other
an
streams. They
hour.
want to see you be outlandish and play a role, man, if that's what it takes. And dude, almost every personality out there, they'll admit up front that when you see them doing their stage thing, that's them doing their stage thing, man. That's not them so much, right? That's not really their own unique persona. That's the persona they give you to sell you to be entertaining. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
I would believe that some of these people
well,
that are streaming or whatever, they
but that's
they're
really the
doing
essence of the
character.
message. That's the message that's sent in politics at this point. That's the only message that's really being relayed is this pop culture message. And it's somehow they got it working on both sides, man. It's weird how that sort of got moved in the last 7 to 8 years. You've seen so many more people from the right trying to participate in technology and get into the social media spectrum and shit posting and stuff like that. I guess mostly, but well, but whether having like any kind of like calm, reasonable discussion about things, I think that it's weird.
They want to be the one that makes the most headlines.
You got it.
Put it that way.
I
They
don't like
want the
using they.
attention.
You're saying
of-
they. I don't like that. I don't like you saying they, man. It's like a group thing. You need to isolate who you're talking about. You're talking about like
Any
extreme
crazy
conservatives. Extreme
conspiracy
conservatives. I don't know.
on.
You don't have to be touchy about saying extreme conservatives at this point. I think there's a population, even in the conservative ranks at this point, they realize, yes, there's this whole other body of extreme conservatives, and I think there's a whole bunch of them trying to differentiate from that. And this is the same body on the left. You got progressives like me who don't want to identify with Democrats and neoliberals and shit like that. I'm done with that garbage can. Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of corruption, and anybody who wants to keep us arguing this and that, they're just another emissary of that corruption, because I've been across this country. Fun fact for anybody who doesn't know me, I've hitchhiked cross country with my thumb. I did it in 1996. I went to the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta. Kind of got stuck, and I was able to ride the bus back to Kansas City. And Kansas City was so bad, I spent the extra $15 to get to Topeka. No, once I got to the bus station in Kansas City, I realized it was so bad. I'm not going to be able to hitchhike out of here. There were people jumping my shit immediately, dude. I could not walk down the street. So yeah,
What do you mean jumping your shit?
they were following me, dude.
Oh.
I had a nice leather jacket.
Mm,
I guess at the time I didn't really. That probably what it was. They wanted to jump me and steal my jacket, dude. But so I was like, yeah, that's outside the Kansas City Greyhound station. So I took the Greyhound to Topeka and I started hitchhiking from there. So I hitchhiked from Topeka all the way up to Seattle. I did that once. There's another time I'm up here in upstate Pennsylvania, and I hitchhiked all the way from upstate Pennsylvania all the way back to Spokane.
I couldn't imagine doing that. It'd be so
You know?
weird.
And I'm gonna tell you what, I've met people. I've met people, and I know people from both sides of the aisle. People all over this country. There was no differentiation between the people that that picked me up and talked to me, whatever. You know what I mean? I had Arabs picking me up. I've had women picking me up. I've had, obviously everybody from all kinds of different
I
cultures.
could see that. Yeah.
And no, there's this general perception that everybody should be scared of each other. I want to tell you right firsthand, there's really no reason to be scared unless you're doing some bullshit. I'm sorry, if you're looking for drugs, sex, rock and roll, stuff like that, then you're probably going to find some bullshit. You know what I mean? If that's your gig, is to party and you want to do this and that, and it's just that aesthetic where somebody feels like they're going to make profit off of you, I guess at least in the black market sense, fuck yeah, they'll pull you right in, man. They'll pull you right in. They party all day, party all night if you want, But you're looking for trouble, and those are the people that actually find violence and crime and shit, I think.
Yeah.
Because you could be out on the road just minding your own business and nobody's gonna fuck with you. But as soon as you start doing some shit where you're looking for those three things, you're probably gonna run into people who are willing to fuck with you. Because they spent all their money doing the same shit. You see what I'm saying? They're all cashed out. They need to keep partying, And hey, party lifestyle, it's cool when you're able to do it part time. And people manage it. I guess they think they can manage it.
We could.
It's hard to give up. Even myself. Here I am talking about going to the damn White House and turning it all neon and stuff and having a good time out at the White House grounds and making it a big, circus or whatever. At least fun for people to show up. Take the gate down. The viewer might have missed that one. You missed that part of the show where we're in D.C. and I was telling you that the first real executive action, like if I was inaugurated president, my first real action would have to do with the the groundskeeping. That I would take the security fence down from around the White House. That would be my first thing I do. I just take the security fence right down because I don't have anything to be scared of. I'm not going to do anything where people are going to want to harm my interest. You see what I'm saying? That's the only reason you would have a security gate is because you're scared.
So, but Biden has always said that he wanted
Look,
unity on both sides.
We're not going to give up.
Didn't.
We're still going to keep the Secret Service and the great men and women of the armed forces guarding the White House. And what I'm saying, I'm up in the ante to say that I fully trust these people to handle that security detail. It might actually make it easier. Lowering the amount of space that they really have to isolate and cover and just kind of peripherally having to cover stuff and then just isolate all your emphasis on the buildings and make sure nobody breaches the buildings. That I think actually that might be a net positive. You get tractor force out of that, I think.
Would it be less funding for the...
No, I'm saying for the personnel themselves. The personnel themselves would find that pattern a lot easier to manage. You see what I'm saying?
Somewhat.
That it's just open to the public. Anybody can just walk through and go hang out on the White House lawn, man. Why not? Right? Isn't it bullshit they don't let you do that already? Right? State of will. Under the state of will, we're doing it. We're taking that damn fence down. Taking that damn fence down. We're finishing that border wall. We're making Mexico pay for it. Well, at least no, we'll negotiate. And they'll love it. They'll love it. They'll be like, when they get some resources out of it, they'll love it. And it's like, and the wall just becomes a proxy. The wall becomes a proxy because we need like something to tie it to. Like Alyeska pipeline. You need something to cradle the shit. You know what I mean? You need something to hold it, And the more stuff you try to pipeline, the more stuff you put on it, the more bolstered that physical barrier is. So now it's not just some useless physical barrier. This is a barrier that actually takes natural resources to places where it needs to go. Not oil. Because like I said, not oil. Not oil. Not oil. No, we need to find, I think everybody can agree that we're working towards trying to find a world where we need less oil. Yeah. Hey, don't get me started. We've got a bunch of money to invest. We could talk about the laundry soap idea. Where you start filling up the bottles. Oh no, I got to convince these corporate. I got to figure out which company would jump on board first. With the laundry soap idea. But I got all kinds of little ideas. That's a private business idea that has nothing to do with really anything government oriented. See, this like right here is definitely government oriented. They already started the wall. It's already there. And this is just the sad news I got to tell to my friends on the left. Is like, you're not going to be able to stop it, dude. They're going to build this fucking thing. They're already doing it. You know what I mean? They're just not using it for anything really important. Yeah. And it doesn't even solve the problem that people think it solves. Yeah.
And people that do those things, they have to check it, right? They have to check the water, make sure
those are jobs. Those are jobs.
Bad water.
Those are jobs.
Those are jobs. That's what
Those are jobs. There you go.
Create jobs.
Well, I guess on the big, huge pictures perspective is what you're trying to do is raise the quality of life out here in the desert areas where it's more livable. Because honestly, right now, the way housing prices are and everything, this is where all the cheapest property is right now. Poor people have to come live out here in the deserts now.
And build.
And they have to build houses out of dirt.
Or take an RV and put it in, property or something. In Arizona, because we watched a lot of people that
well, it's not. It's still a certain population, but it's a choice. Man.
Yeah, of course.
I would do it if I had the money and you had to choose between the construction costs of like a stick-built home and then some of these other earth bag buildings that these people make. That as long as you're in the right temperate area where it's not gonna wash away, then you might as well do it.
I mean, they've always said that hotter climate is good for arthritis, but I've never experienced it, because I've never been in hot.
Well, I'm not saying we're gonna live on the border. No, I don't have to do that. I don't have to actually be present for this project. You don't have to do it either. We're talking about other people.
Own properties that are on.
She's the first lady. First lady thinks she has to get out there with a shovel and pickaxe. She's like, we gotta go work on this thing. We're gonna get hot down there. I never been down at the border before. You're a hard worker.
I am.
Yeah.
I think I have my mother's work ethic.
See, we got a current viewer. Don't want to chat though. If you got a keyboard on your device, you got to chat. We'll eventually be able to afford the software that tells us who it is, but I don't know if it goes retro.
Well, what would you do if you knew who was on your stream?
I'd say hi, I guess.
I see Nathan on my.
Well, no, among the people that you said you shared it with. No, among the people that you shared it with, you would think that, they would take interest a little bit in the topic and the fact that, what the hell is this kid talking about?
Chat with us.
Well, and I can only really go over the stuff I've already talked about. I talked about the school, the border wall. Yesterday it was the school venture, where we go over turning basically public school into a video game. A fully immersible virtual world where students of all ages
to all ages
earn real school credit by playing through the content. So basically school venture would be like my education policy. So if I was to take that oath of office, I would tell you right now. I'd immediately start a Manhattan Project. I'd get so many people on this job of creating this game to take the place of most public school, to where kids now go to public schools through a video game at home instead of having to transport these kids and even feed them. And there's all these other things. When it comes to these kids having to leave their homes to go to school, you could take that out of the equation completely by just making school into one big giant video game. They already have virtual world video games, man. You just change the subject to teaching these kids schoolwork, and there you go. That's all it is. You're done. You know what I mean? Those kids will never stop playing it. Doogie Howser. That's what I say. We would have to have a little thing going on Vegas. How long before Doogie Howser pops up? How long would it take? Well, if the system launches school year 2026, you talk about 9 years. In about 9 years, you would have a Doogie Howser. You think it would take 9 years? Like somebody was born on that day, 9 years later, they're a doctor.
It could happen. I've seen it.
So a person who's born on the day that this game releases, 9 years later could possibly be a doctor. You know what I mean?
And if you want to go back to school, also.
Well, that's the fun part that makes it revenue neutral. That's the fun part that makes it cost less, and where the conservatives should be on board, because we're talking about kind of like eliminating the federal burden on funding the schools. I guess you're not really eliminating the burden. You're just making a pushback that there's going to be people of all ages now that can access the same software on a different network from the kids. The kids are on like a regulated network, whatever. But the same thing applies. All ages, and they get real school credit by playing the content. Like you can go back and be Billy Madison, replay all your history, all your school history. You didn't do it good enough, play it again. Play it again. Play it again. You know how many people will pay for that? What if college and universities were just an expansion pack away? What college would you want to go to?
It sounds like...
I mean, come on. Imagine the fact that you don't have to apply for a college. It's now it's on the college and university to get you interested enough to buy their expansion pack. You know what I mean? So no longer, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So if you want to get further...
Obviously, the big names... No, the big names get their little,
expansion to the
Harvard. I'm sure they would probably still have their weird standards, and they get to still have their weird standards for people who qualify for their content. You see what I'm saying?
But they still have to take a test that they're learning things.
Well, sure. See, having school switch over into a video game does not completely eliminate the use for the school buildings. Does not completely eliminate the fact that we do have to transport some kids to school. The ones that fall through the cracks, special needs, and you got other people that would probably still need to be taught how to use the system. We're talking about the general population of students that would just fall right into this. No extensive training needed. But there's some kids that would be left behind, I guess. I was up in Soldotna. I like Soldotna because they got their high school and junior high all right next to each other.
Yeah. That's kind of like what I experienced as a kid. All my schools were so close to each other.
Well, I use Alaska as a great example because I rode the buses. Fun fact, another fun fact for your viewer there, if you were trying to get to know the old Will man, is that he spent some time living up here in Alaska. And check this out, I had to ride a bus to get to my school when I was in middle school and high school and stuff up here in Alaska. And we were out here off this Kasilof River in this area. There's a road. Once it stops being fucking fuzzy, Google has been doing this. It's Google itself, I swear. But anyway, I had to get on this road, this dirt road, ride the dirt road all the way out to the pavement. Then I had to wait here to get on the school bus, and then I rode the school bus 20 miles. Dead of winter, a lot of times. You talk about like down here in the lower 48 and the people that they cancel school when there's just like a few inches of snow. Dude.
Yeah, that's Salem.
You get that crazy look from me like, what?
Yeah, me too.
What? I'm sitting next to berms of snow. They're like twice my height. You got trucks and everything, the normal commercial traffic rolling through. I mean, not a great deal of traffic, of course, but it's some of it's still there. But yeah,
I mean, talk to people that are doing
and I guess that's where a lot of my
right
sympathy
now.
goes. Is like you got these kids that ride these buses all the way to school, and they don't have to, man. You don't have to put those kids at risk. Every time I was out there on the road, and every time I rode that bus, my life was at risk. Okay, you're putting your life at risk. Anything could happen. You're out on a highway that's covered with ice in a bus, trying to get there as fast as possible because they got a schedule too. You know what I mean?
I didn't have to ride a bus very far, so I
And
guess I was spoiled.
there was never any really bad experiences, I guess. We had good bus drivers and the equipment, and I guess that's where we start to trail off. And I would tell you that sure enough, the school venture idea, it might kill the jobs that are available in the market for school bus drivers, school bus mechanics, the manufacturing of those buses, all that stuff, the storage. You don't have to store them anymore. All that cost that you could probably just eliminate. But if you care so much about the jobs of bus mechanics and the drivers and all those people, and then what you should do is we just try to vote better so we can have better public transportation. Because you know what Soldotna doesn't have? They don't have a public transportation system. You know what I mean? Don't give me that. You don't know. You were not there.
Well,
So,
no,
well, no, I think there's.
imagine,
I bet. I don't know. I could be wrong. I bet
unless you're
somebody's
in
taking the
the
initiative. This is what I
populous
would have done. No, if I had been living up there, I'd already be doing this. I'd have already bought a little bus and done it privately. That was my idea to do it. Just do it privately, and just pick people up and just run a little bus between Kenai and Soldotna, and just run this loop all the way around and just do. There's a couple roads here that you'd have to go down. This one kind of splits, and then I think that's the major one right here. What the fuck is it called? Beaver Loop. Okay, yeah, the Beaver Loop.
I gotta check Ladybug.
Yeah, you'd have to hit this line. There's a lot of people living out here. I mean, there's not a lot of people. I guess it's the bulk of the population, people who do live out here. Okay. Not fascinating at all. Not fascinating at all how. Well, I guess that's how I come up with ideas like this is that, I think of the necessity that, you got these kids out there, they're in danger all over the country. This is just one little place in the country. You got all these kids waiting out at these bus stops, riding these buses, somewhat unnecessarily. It would be so much cheaper. The federal public education system could really just send every kid a computer. And I guess I have to reiterate that obviously multi-child family homes, aren't going to get a computer for every kid. That's probably not the system that's really going to be default. I would just go ahead and say that maybe their kids just do so well in school that the program rewards them. And that's what I'm talking about. We're talking about a system where the program and the system itself rewards the students who do well. The baseline, your equipment and the hardware that you need to do the schoolwork would essentially be given to the families. It would just be given. And then you talk about stuff like I have. I got a camera, I got my little microphone, I got all my little play toys, all these little maybe multiple screens and all the little funky stuff that you could tie into the computer that you would just have add-ons and incentives for the students to do well. Do you see what I'm saying? That the better you do, the more you might qualify for these other programs where they just send you this stuff and you set it up and now you got an even better system because you're doing well in school, right? So I'm saying,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not kidding around. Because if you make it revenue and cost neutral, you're able to bolster the spending and everything that you used to spend on, you know what I mean, is already paid for. You get to spend on more stuff. I'm a tax and spender, I guess, right? But I am trying to throw a bone out there to the fiscal conservatives. I still lived through the Clinton era. You know what I mean? If you didn't live through the Clinton era like I did, then you might not remember the last time the budget was balanced, and the fact that the last time anybody even uttered the words with the real intention of balancing the budget, it was Bill Clinton, a Democrat. Okay. Not endorsing Democrats at all, but I'm just going to tell you that's how reality shaped up. That the last time really we heard of anything of an agenda about balancing the budget was back in the late '90s
They
in the
talk
in the
about
Clinton
it, but
administration.
they don't. You know, it's like they talk, but they don't have any
And
action towards it.
so yeah, I'm sympathetic to the balanced budget approach because I love math. Math has a problem with the budget. Simple as that. Math, the science of math, has a problem with our budget. It's so fucked up, right? I mean, if you were math, would you not be offended? If I was math, I'd be offended at the way our country and our budget runs because there's no reason. I'm a total nobody. I'm a total nobody who came up with this education idea that could actually maybe completely reverse the cost of education and actually make money. Because if you go global with this thing and you start giving, and if we could figure out a way to go international and give real school credit to kids and people all over the planet, we just, right there, you just paid for all American schools right there. Our education system is no longer costing us money. It's making us money. Come on. This is what I'll do my freeze frame and you can have the glasses come out and do the Thug Life for me. That's for your Thug Life meme right there. There you go. Anybody who wants to do a freeze frame, you do the glasses that pop out, Thug Life. Dude, I would be the most hip president. Obama's in for a ride, man.
You think Obama was a hip
Dude, even the big T isn't gonna come close to the kind of crap that I would pull in the White House. I have way bigger balls. Way bigger balls. I'm talking about taking the fence down around the White House. And everybody's hearing me say it. I can't back down now. You know what I mean?
All right, let's.
Everybody heard it.
Oh my God, I don't think
Well,
I could be first
the
lady.
one person watching. You heard it.
I don't think.
And I would not back
I
down.
think I can be first lady.
In this fictional world of the state of will.
I don't care.
But who knows? Who knows? I used to have this thing growing up when I was younger and I was living up in Alaska. I had this weird idea that, we should just have weird policy states. You know what I mean? Like each state should just represent some weird policy that's different from others. Like one should have legal weed. Like maybe a state should just allow drunk driving. You know what I mean? It's just like, fuck it. We're just going to see how the numbers stack out. You know what I mean? Just to test science. A little scientific experiment. Just have one state where drunk driving is completely legal. Fuck it. Just so we can do the math. Because if we don't have the exception that proves the rule, then we can't really have a good case study when it comes to scientific equations and shit. Is that if we just actually have a state where we allow the drunk driving, then we can just physically show the numbers to people. How bad it is. You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? If you have a state where like cocaine's legal, you know what I mean? You would literally be able to take that case study and you'd be able to systematically make the case for whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? But prohibition is the most terrible way to go about, figuring out what's good for people. You know what I mean? Just outright saying, okay, because one reason or another, because we live in a commercial society now that's just like, you know what? If you prohibit something, you're just creating another market for it, a more bolstered market that can actually profit more because of these new laws or whatever laws that restrict the possession or, consumption, distribution, trading, whatever you might call, right? The war on drugs is a failure. I guess I think most people, the centrist conservatives I'm talking about, you could admit the war on drugs is a failure. The United States spending any more money trying to adjudicate this war on drugs is just the most insane thing. You know what I mean? It is the most insane thing, right? It's like having an old car that you don't drive, but, or keeping a top-notch, Black Hawk helicopter, well-maintained in a hangar that you're never going to use, but you're paying for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Either way, what are you doing?
I'm putting a picture your YouTube
Oh, great.
thing. It says live, and
Oh,
then it
well.
says chat with us.
Well, somebody else has been watching for a long time.
Oh,
They didn't chat.
see, like that.
A
And
worker.
then that'll be my story on Facebook.
What? It's too late now. I'm about to end the stream. I was about to clock off, and then the 2 popped up, and I figured, okay, I'll give this person the benefit of the doubt and explain what I was saying and everything. I think I covered most of the bases here.
Well,
And
still, people can look
I
at
got
it,
more.
okay?
I got more. Wait for what should we do next? Should we do the modified adjudication program next? I mean, what's another one? We got
I like it.
we got other policies, man. I got other policy ideas. See, now that I dropped it, maybe I have to do the modified adjudication program. Which is criminal justice reform. I'm sorry. I'm staring at the old lady. Yeah.
Hi.
So I can't do it right now. So maybe tomorrow, or the next day, the next time I do this stuff, we'll start doing these series, and maybe I'll start doing videos. That's another one. Maybe I got to do more of like a video presentation pattern of all these different ideas that I'm having. But yeah, the modified adjudication program that might be next. Yeah, because right now all of a sudden I spit it out. Now I can't think of anything else, even though I got other stuff lined up. So yeah, I think I just talked too long. My practice time is over. Comedian President Will.
He'll be on next on
Yeah, we're heading to turtle
Fortnite
time.
camp.
We're heading into turtle time now. Getting ready for it. So yeah, you have to jump over to Alex's Twitch page here. Yeah, let's go here. Go to home. Go to our channel. Alex has her own little Twitch page. We're gonna be on there and pretty soon, I guess. And I gotta go strap on my GIMP suit and go play my role as the Fortnite GIMP for my wife here. I gotta carry her through so nobody gets to her. Keep anybody from, schooling my
Messing
wife.
with the blueberry.
Or no, actually, it's her job to keep people from messing with me. That's really what it is. That's why it's satire. But let's go to the about section here. Yeah, we got turtle time. There you go. We got turtle time coming up. That's probably next. I don't know if anybody that knows Ali actually tuned in. That's what we do in our streaming career. We're working more to come up with more stuff. That's why we got a couple initiatives to come up to make some money. I was going to throw up like a sticker or a sound effect for, we got to talk that over. Maybe get something, stickers and sound effects for bits. You got to get this section filled out better. You know what I mean? The whole thing just has to do better. I see other people's profiles and, yeah. You have to get assimilated. I got to get assimilated. It's been too long. We did finally get the emotes. I put the emotes in finally for her. That took a while. Pain in the butt. But we got it done. So anyway, where we at? I still got the guy just lingering. Got a worker. Got a worker. Doesn't hate the idea. You didn't hate what I was saying, so you're still there. Unless you did hate it. You're like, fuck that shit. I don't know. But we'll call it good because we're at the 2-hour mark. I'm literally 15 seconds away from the 2-hour mark. And I'm OCD like that, so we'll probably just round it out. 2 hours. Thanks for trying, Thanks for staying here and watching. Hit the like button. Go back and watch the beginning. All right.